Hi, Gil.
Hey,
Merrick.
Shireen, how's it going?
Good. You were assistant director at USEF, and you might jump in and say how you and I met because you really are a very dear friend.
Well,
So,
thanks. We've known each other for 15 years, and we actually met in Gladstone for the National Dressage Championships that your farm, Collecting Gates Farms, hosted, sponsored, and a lot of time to think about high performance and the things that I learned during my 5 years with the USCF. I started off as managing director for dressage. And in that position, you oversee all of the programs, dressage programs that USCF offers. So it's the national programs like juniors and young riders and the national young horse programs, developing horse program. And at that time, this was 2005, Klaus Balkenhol, the German Olympic rider, was our national coach. And I happen to speak fluent German. And it's not that I happened to. When I was going to college, I had already written Grand Prix. And my trainer at the time said, you know what, if you want more advanced education, this was 1975, he said, you're probably going to have to go to Germany. And he said, and I don't think anybody's going to want to teach you in English, so you better learn German. So I double majored in college, and it just opened up a lot of doors. But my job took me down to Sydney, Australia, and I met a Portuguese master of equitation, a little hidden gem. His name's Major Miguel Tavora. And he was a lifetime friend and student of Nuno Oliveira's. And a lot of people know that name as being one of, along with Reiner Klimke and some others, one of our master trainers in the 20th century. Miguel passed away a few years ago, but I was able to train with him for 7 years. And I said, Miguel, I want to learn how, I said, I can ride Grand Prix, but I want to learn how to train it. And he said, great, buy a 3-year-old horse that hasn't been backed, and I'll teach you how to train it to Grand Prix. So every morning, 6:30, in the arena. He started early to help me, and I had a lesson every single day over the course of the next years. And I also was able to travel with him when he taught clinics, so I could watch him work with 8 or 9 riders over the course of 5 days. And the horses were at all different levels. So it really rounded out my education. 2005, when I started working for the USEF and I met Klaus Balkenhol, my job was to manage the programs that select and oversee the training of the high performance teams. And Klaus being, of course, the national coach for that. So for the next 4 years, I was literally glued to Klaus's hip. I went to all the training sessions, all the competitions in Europe, and then the Pan American Games in Rio de Janeiro in 2007. I got to go to Aachen in 2000 and I believe it was 2009 when Stefan Peters, the first American to win in Aachen. And my question to Klaus was, all right, if you're riding high performance, you're now going for the Olympic level, you want to ride against the best riders in the world and be judged against the best. How do you get there? With Klaus, he did all the work. I was his translator and I organized the training. I wasn't, of course, training at all. But I got to watch him and study him. And what I realized was, well, one day I asked him, I didn't realize it. I said, Klaus, what is it about Isabel Worth? Why is she the most decorated rider in history in competition? What is it about her? And he goes, watch her. He said, she rides for every point. She doesn't give up anything in that ring. Even if she has a mistake, she just goes on. She uses every movement in the test to set her horse up for the next movement. She never misses the opportunity to take a corner and make sure her half halt's passing through, make sure the bending around the inside leg's passing through. She uses the corner. She uses whatever exercise she's in to set the horse up for the next one, to get the hindquarters engaged, to get it where it needs to be to do the next exercise. And so I had the opportunity many times to watch Isabel in the warm-up. I also watched Stefan in the warm-up. And a hallmark of their training, these are people who pay attention to every single detail. They miss nothing. And I think that is a distinguishing factor to the people who make it from Grand Prix into high performance with some degree of success. And I was watching both of them. I was watching Isabel and Stefan, and they were in the warm-up at the same time. They're masters they put the horse together for whatever they're schooling. And again, they're at a show. They're not going to school any movements, but they might ask for a few steps of passage or piaffe like they're playing. And then they ride out of it. They let the horse stretch. They let its back relax. They let the horse get back to a very relaxed state, and then they bring it back and they collect it again and they work on another movement and then they let the horse out. Masters, they know their horse. They can feel every muscle in its body. They know when there's tension, which I want to talk about in a minute, because these are high performance animals. They're like a gymnast at the Olympics. They're like figure skaters. They're like a swimmer. It doesn't matter what the sport is. They're training their bodies and they get to a certain level and then they need to push it to the next level. So they're asking the muscles to do more. They're asking the pulmonary system to do more. They're asking their brains to do more, to concentrate more. And so it's natural that there'd be tension that can creep into that process. Well, if you read the books of the 18th century equestrian masters, they all go into detail about the essence and the essentialness of relaxing the horse's jaw. If the horse clamps his jaw and becomes tense, they're going to get tense in the atlas region, right up at the pole between the ears, and they have large jaws. So if they clamp their jaw and that tension goes up into the pole area, it's going to pass through their whole body. It's going to go through the spine, through the neck, through the withers, through the back, and all the way to their hindquarters. So fortunately, I got to see this over the years that I was with the USEF. The judging, which I've gone on record with this before, but it was kind of based on totalists. And everybody wanted the flash and the elevation. And, people kind of overlooked the fact that the extended trots weren't engaged and that it was a lot of action in the front and not much going on in the back. But he was a sensation. That's what the judges were giving scores for. And that's what people were training towards. And I saw a lot of tension, especially when our team for the Beijing Olympics was in quarantine in Aachen. It's not an FEI event. There are no stewards. People are training every day the way they normally train. I was shocked at the degree of tension in some people's horses. And of course, I was blown away by the relaxation in others. So I'm not saying everybody was riding like that. But over the last years, the judges are now awarding points for harmony, suppleness, elasticity, relaxation. It is so much nicer a picture, and it's so much better classical training and equitation. So if I were a high performance rider, I'd want to make sure in taking care of every single detail about my training that I wasn't missing any opportunity. And I know at some point my horse is going to develop some tension. So I want my horse's jaw relaxed. And that's why when I met you 15 years ago, and you were developing GumBits as a product and as a company, and I saw what it did to just get the horse to chew, to masticate, to generate that saliva and kind of relax the whole being of the horse. I was blown away. I thought it's such a simple principle, but nobody else is doing it. You're first to market, and you have the endorsement of countless, because I can't count them anymore, high performance riders in eventing and dressage. You have the Morgan Horse World coming on board, Western dressage, which I was very active with Ellen DeBella in getting as a recognized discipline with the USCF. So I'm just thrilled, but your product's a huge contribution, and I hope riders give it a try. It does no harm, and it's perfectly legal, and it's natural. It's like, give them a treat.
It's such a fun product. I love it so much. Now I can take this simple product and it can help the ponies or the horses. I remember being at a show and one of the moms, raced down to get me because they had a pony that was a little spooky. And so what they found is as the pony was chewing, the pony kind of stopped focusing on the bushes and was more focused on the ring and just got more relaxed. And it's just fun how it kind of comes to me and people find out about it. It was dressage, as you know. And then the eventers all got smart and started training with the dressage Olympians. So the dressage Olympians started, using the GumBits for the eventers, going from, full speed ahead to, oh God, we got to get in the box and how are we going to get the head down? So that was fun. So kind of my goal for the year is to educate people and show that it's mainstream. I have a contract with USEF. They love it. I'm their official training treat. And we've been sponsoring pony finals for, I think 3 years, maybe 4 years. The hunters are great because they're going in and out of the ring, and you can use it as an award, or I'm sorry, a reward for the horses as they come out. And then as they're going in, again, it just helps them relax. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
You are more than welcome. Thanks for inviting me. I really enjoyed it.